thought our energy right off the bat was the key thing for us. It has to be. It's where we get our momentum from. I thought the fans brought a ton of energy to from the crowd to our team, and our team really, the key for them moving forward is that they continue to put not one or two or three possessions together that are good and a couple that are bad, but to continue to have as many solid, all five guys doing the right things type of possessions as possible. And I think when you have that, you've got a chance to break a game open. And that's what happened for us late in the first half. And then the key for us is we came right back out with the same spirit and energy and toughness in the second half. And I think we played a really good team, and I think we played really well tonight. And I think the fact that we got up and played defense the way we need to and got into their main scores helped us gain confidence. And that was really, really important, whether it was perimeter, whether it was post, whether it was drives, whether it was transition. And we scored the ball from a lot of different places. We scored it in the half-court offense. We scored it off turnovers. We scored it certainly getting to the foul line, which is very, very important that we get there early enough in both halves. And we got it on the break. And our guys, they really understood where we wanted to attack this team from, especially initially, to open up things later in other areas. And I think that really helped us. And defensively, there's always room for improvement, just like there's room for improvement on the offensive end. But I thought we made strides tonight. I thought we really, really made strides. And I thought we got a lot of contributions, and we can talk about guys individually. We got a lot of contributions from guys, not only in the starting lineup, but outside of it. And that's the best way for us to move forward. And Sunday will be much the same. It'll be a very athletic team. It'll be a team that's a little bit older. There's a lot of high-level Division I transfers on it. They've got 4 guys that had 25 points or more last year inside of a game, which is always a big deal. So there's going to be numerous guys that can score the ball, and it's important for us to come back out with the same energy and mindset, and hopefully our fans will have that same energy as well.
Tom, talk about what you got from Victor on both ends of the floor.
Well, we said last week that we've got to get individual defenders, real lock-up guys, and not just guys that could be, but guys that are. And I think tonight he took a big step in that direction because he drew the assignment of their best player. He drew the assignment of their go-to shooter, scorer, the guy that when you look back at last year, when he plays well, they play well. And he wanted that challenge, and I thought he did a good job, and I thought it got his offense going, and I thought he played pretty consistent. You know, a couple times he got tired and he stood up, but when you're playing hard, that's going to happen some. And when you can go to the bench and hopefully not have a big drop-off, that helps. But he scored a lot of different ways. He was a great facilitator. He did not look for shots that weren't there. He took what was there. He attacked the rim and really needed to get him up the sideline, and he did a good job with that. And he got some momentum going early with that, which gave him confidence. So he's a really, really important part of our team. And when it comes to the defensive part of them, we didn't start Will tonight, even though he is a starter in my mind, because we needed to be a little bit bigger. And at the same time, we wanted Will to come in and put that kind of pressure on number 10. And I think Verdell did an outstanding job on him as well. So we got a lot of good defensive play from a lot of guys. Victor was right up there near the front.
What are your thoughts on the production from Will when he wasn't feeling all that well?
Well, I think it's pretty. If he wasn't feeling well in the first half, then hopefully he'll stay sick like that more often. I think it was more at the end of the first half, and when it really hit him, and then throughout halftime, and he wanted to go back in, but that wasn't my call. It was the doctor's call, and I agree with it. So I thought he really did a good job of coming in, bringing energy, reading the game, and nobody tonight tried to make something happen that wasn't there. And that's going to be a key for us. And that's not always going to be that way. And that's when we've got to be able to substitute. But when you've got guys, we've got some guys that can make plays now. But it's very important that they understand that everybody can. And the key, you didn't ask this, but the key with Cody is, even when they were defending him the way that they were in the first half, and he migrates to that post the way that he does, and he wasn't getting the ball enough to get to the foul line, we move him around. He gets it in different areas. He's so smart. And when that comfort level comes of being able to play in a lot of different areas on the court, out of the corners, out of the short corner, at the high post, at the three-point line, in ball screens, whether he's setting them or whether he's receiving them. That will really help. But I think the thing that was fun to watch with him tonight is all the stuff that he did defensively with the blocks, the steals. He led us in deflections again at 12. Victor had 9. We had 45 for the game. You know, so when you get that kind of activity from your freshman big player like that, that's really good.
Offensively, it seems like it doesn't take a lot to sort of get him going, for him to find a rhythm. Is that fair to say that it just takes maybe one or two?
Yeah, and I think there's times that we definitely, I think you can see it tonight, we really want to get him the ball, and guys were really looking at him to get him, but he was playing against a guy that's, I mean, looks like he could be playing, you know, for an NFL football team on Sunday. I mean, the kid was good. And I think the other thing, he made a couple buckets, but we don't have a post double in yet. You know, we dig off the ball a little bit, but we don't have a post double in. And that's one of those things that we're going to have to put in at some point, but I thought Cody did a good job with that as well. So he played a very complete game for a freshman.
How much did that steal get him going?
I think so. I think it did. I don't think there's any question. He's quick. And I keep saying this, that the key to defense in my mind is that short space quickness. And when you get a steal, when you come around the postman like that and you get around like that quickly, especially against somebody that's bigger like that, and you make that play, that's really good. That's really good.
What's it say about a player like that, McDonald's All-American, when he's taking a charge when you're up 26 with 5 minutes to go?
That's the reason why. That's the reason he's won, more so than just being a McDonald's All-American. I think things like that are a big reason he wins 3 state championships. I think it's one of the reasons he's such a year-round winner. And I think he was good with activity off the ball. He's good, obviously, with the block shots. He's going to be so multidimensional as he grows and gains experience. And as good as he is now, potentially, there's so much more as he continues to get a comfort level, especially on the offensive end, you know, with being in so many different places. Because he's not a player that you just want to put in the block and let people beat on him. You know, he deals fine with the physical part of the game, but he's such a good player, he can move into a lot of different areas. Because we have other guys that can post. I mean, we're not even really posting our guards the way that we will yet.
You mentioned getting a bunch of contributions from guys. I mean, Derek Elston and Matt Roth. What do you mean to get them, both of them?
Excited
involved?
for Derek. Yeah, Derek and Matt. They got open shots. They did their job. Derek has really been playing well for us. I mean, when I say that we have the upwards of 7 starters right now, he's that other guy. I mean, there's no question he can move into the lineup depending on matchups. And he's got to build on it. He's had 2 really good weeks. I thought he really started to play with more confidence, even going back to the Cream and Crimson scrimmage after the Northwestern game. I thought he did some good things in there. The next day he played well, very well. And he's just kind of carried that on. And he's growing up. He's growing up. He's healthy, which we can say anything we want about him, but when you start with the health, I mean, that's he didn't get to do that last year. His body didn't allow him to do that. It wasn't that he wanted to be held back or we held him back. It's just there were too many things with his body that were wrong. And now it's not like that, you know, and hopefully he can continue to move upward that way.
How much do you think of the way Vic played, both defensively locking down a guy and tying his career high?
Did he on the career high? I didn't even notice that. Yeah, wow. I didn't even notice that. I thought he was very solid. Again, because he didn't try to make something happen that wasn't there. And I think a couple of the misses were layups, right? Yeah, so he really played with a burst tonight that he's got. And he doesn't always play with that. And that's part, when you hear us talk about consistency or hear me talk about the consistency that Victor needs to have, you saw what it looks like tonight when he's consistent. And we've got to continue to build on that. It's when he doesn't explode to the rim. It's when he doesn't keep the man in front of him. It's when he doesn't play with good hand position and reaches in or gambles. He got a foul. I think he got his second foul because he stood up because he reached. And the kid drove him and he stood up. So foul. You know, when those, we're always trying to get these guys to play the perfect game defensively. And as impossible as that is, you constantly keep striving for guys to get to that. And with a person like Vic, the quicker he understands, or I shouldn't say the quicker, the more he understands that defensive consistency leads to him having really good offensive games, the better he'll be.
You talked about Cody's gotten a lot of minutes, but the other 2 freshmen they're kind of being able to come along at their own pace. How nice is it to have the program at the point where they aren't expected to play big
Well,
minutes
it's
right
very
away?
nice, because for the first couple of years, those two kids would be starters. I said that, I think, to Don Fisher before the game at the radio show. I mean, you guys know that as well as I do. I mean, those guys would be in the lineup, and they're capable, and they're getting better. So they're freshmen certain days, but for the most part, there's a consistency. There's always a consistency on how they work, and that hasn't been the case at Indiana the last 3 years, you know, with the young guys understanding how hard you have to work and then get to the point where you compete day in and day out. Those kids, those two young men, compete every day, and they're going to continue to get nothing but better.
Cody scored one more question.
With 8.5
We
minutes,
got a couple minutes. Go ahead.
8.5 to go in the first half, they're up 3, you're up 17 at halftime. What happened in between that?
Well, I think there was some momentum change because we didn't get down. There was action, obviously, in the first half with the flagrant 2 and then our flagrant 1, and we just moved on. And no one got caught. There was no drama. I mean, we just kept going. But I think our guys really respected them, and they listened, because we do. They're a good team. Steve is a very good coach, and I don't know him personally, but I've known of him, and then studying his films here as long as we have. There's no question they're good, and our guys knew that. They knew we were going to really have to be really solid. But again, you try to get your team to understand you never know when it's going to break. Now, you know it's going to break against you when you're not playing hard and consistent. But if you're playing hard and consistent, you never know when it's going to break open for you. And that was one of those times that it did.
How much did Cody's second half burst have to do with guys like Vic or Will having offensive halves that, you know, kind of took pressure off of?
Oh, I don't know if I look at it like that. Cody's not a guy that tries to make something that's not there. Yeah, he's going to shoot. I mean, it's not like you got to force him to shoot the ball. We got to get him more comfortable on the perimeter shooting the ball, because what we see in practice and what we see in the drills is he's going to be a very good shooter. But it's like expectations. Things don't rattle Cody. And when the flagrant 2 was there, he brought that up. I mean, he knew he got hit. He knew it wasn't right. And I saw him bend over. I didn't see what had happened. I mean, and that's good for a freshman to say, hey, this is what happened. I said, well, go tell the referee. And they administered it. You know, well, I haven't seen it on film yet, but nothing rattles him. And with that being said, he doesn't force things. And so he just plays the game. And he's not a big man, he's a big basketball player. And when you have a person that's like that, so many things can happen good for him and for his teammates. We good?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.